Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for our game against Everton tonight. So I'm going to go with 2-0 to Man United. I think the goal scorers will be Edison Cavani and Marcus Rashford. And as you all know, I've already given you my starting 11 prediction for the game. This is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth appearance against Carlo Ancelotti as Man United manager. And we are looking to beat Everton for the third time this season. We've already beaten them twice this season. We're beating them in the EFL Cup quarter-final earlier on in the season at Goodison Park 2-0. And we're beating them 3-1 at Goodison Park in the league. We're coming into this game full of confidence because we recently beat Southampton 9-0. We are record breakers. It was the first time we'd scored 9 goals since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995. That's 26 years ago. Both games between us and Everton last season were 1-1 draws. Like I mentioned on the preview, the last time Everton won at Old Trafford was back in 2013. It was a late goal from Ove Edo. Everton recently beat Leeds 2-1. And to be honest, Everton are enjoying a good season. You know, they did have a bad period. But I have got a lot of respect for Carlo Ancelotti because I think he's a very, very good manager. You know, he's got a good pedigree behind him. He's won 15 major trophies in his managerial career so far. He's been Everton manager now for over a year. When Everton appointed him in, he signed a 4.5-year deal. Before Everton had Carlo Ancelotti, they had Duncan Ferguson in on a temporary basis. Before they had Duncan Ferguson, they had Marco Silva. They was very inconsistent under him, and that's the main explanation why Everton sacked him. At one point, they had Roberto Martinez. They was very, very consistent under him. And at one point, they had David Moyes. David Moyes endured 11 years with Everton. Everton have got some good players that could cause us problems tonight. Obviously, they've got that Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's a good player. Richie Arledson. He's one of their key players. They've also got Bernard. They've got Alex Iwobi. They've got Decore. Everton brought him in last year and he's made a fantastic impact at Everton. They've got James Rodriguez. He's made a fantastic impact. Everton recommended him in last year. They've obviously got Joshua King. They recently got him. They got Joshua King on deadline day from Bournemouth. I think he'll be in line to make his full debut tonight. Joshua King. Don't forget, Joshua King, we had him in our academy. Everton have got Allen out with injury. Everton recommended him in last year. They've also got that Ben Godfrey who they brought in last year. They've got Olsen. He's their second choice goalkeeper. I think he'll be in net tonight because obviously Jordan Pickford's not available. Pickford has got a rib injury. I don't rate Pickford anyway, to be honest with you. I thought he was good in the World Cup in 2018. They've got that Nkundu as well, who they brought in last year. I think he's recently been out with injury. I think Sigurdsson's quite good. Don't forget he's got a good goal scoring record against us, especially during his days at Swansea. Everton have also got Andrea Gomez. He's a good player, Andrea Gomez, but he's sustained a few injuries. At one point he had a bad injury for Everton. That Lucas Digne is a very good left back. Michael Keane, I presume he'll be reuniting with Man United tonight. Yerry Mina, they've also got him. They've got Seamus Coleman. So yeah. Everton have let quite a few players go in recent years. You know, obviously, they lost Idrissa Gueye. I think Everton should have kept him because he did well in the Premier League, Idrissa Gueye. They also let Moise Keane go out on loan to PSG. Theo Walcott, they let him go out on loan to Southampton. They also let Balassi go. Leighton Baines obviously left them because he retired. You know, Everton let Morgan Schneiderlin go. We've done business with Everton before, like I mentioned on the preview. You know, we got Lukaku off them back in 2017. Lukaku enjoyed a couple of years with us, and then obviously we sold him to Inter Milan. Obviously we got Marion Fellaini off them back in 2013. You know, back in 2004 got Wayne Rooney off them, and obviously Wayne Rooney enjoyed 13 years with us. He's our all-time leading goal scorer. I think Rooney scored 253 goals for us in all competitions, if I'm right. But yeah, it is a must-win game for us, because we need to keep the pressure on Manchester City. Don't forget, Manchester City have still got that game in hand. Yesterday, I did give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. Obviously, Solskjaer did provide us with an update on Edinson Cavani, and he said, you know, Edinson Cavani is available, which is good news. He has confirmed that Eric Bay is a doubt, must have sustained another injury. Obviously, Solskjaer rates Joshua King because he mentioned him during the press conference. As you all know, today marks the 63rd anniversary of the Munich air disaster. So obviously tonight Solskjaer will want us to put a performance out, you know, to honour those that lost their lives in that Munich air disaster. And Solskjaer was obviously asked about the challenge of facing Carlo Ancelotti's side. And Solskjaer does have respect for Carlo Ancelotti. But he says we won't get carried away, you know, with the 9-0 win against Southampton. After Everton, it is West Ham in the FA Cup, 5th round. That's going to be a tough game, because West Ham are enjoying a good season. And David Moyes is doing very, very well in his second spell at West Ham. You know, Moyes has brought quite a few players in. Obviously, he brought Souček in. Souček has made a fantastic impact at West Ham. They obviously brought Vladimir Koufal in. Recently brought Jesse Lingard in on loan. Don't forget, Jesse Lingard scored twice on his debut for West Ham. I think actually West Ham could end up getting him permanent. They also brought Ben Rama in. Obviously got him on loan last year, but obviously was it this year they made the deal permanent. They got Craig Dawson on loan from Watford. They also brought that Frederick Ibsen in as well. I like Declan Rice. He's definitely one of West Ham's key players. He's a holding midfielder. We've been in for Declan Rice. The last time I read up, it said that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million. But initially, West Ham value him at around £80 million. Earlier on this season, it was stemming from ESPN saying that we were set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. But obviously, with Lampard not being at Chelsea now, I don't think Chelsea are no longer in for him. Because Frank Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice. You know, he's been at West Ham for several years and he's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. And there's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. Declan Rice can also be deployed as a centre-half, but he's well proven in the Premier League. He breaks up play well and he's got a lot of development in him. West Ham have also got that Pablo Fornells, who I do rate as well. They've got Lanzini, who's quite good. They've got Mikel Antonio. He's another good player for West Ham. They've also got that Issa Diop, who I think is a good centre-half. You know, we did beat West Ham earlier on this season in the league 3-1. And after West Ham, we do play West Brom. And we should be winning that one because West Brom are relegation fodder. And then after that, it is Real Sociedad in the Europa League. And that's going to be a tough game. I think we've confirmed our squad for that game against Real Sociedad.
Making some chips, egg and beans for tea.
Alright. So yeah. As you all know, Solskjaer says Solskjaer has given us our summer transfer plans. He said it could be affected by the pandemic. But Solskjaer mentioned that we are looking at players and targets. I'm expecting us to make some signings in the summer transfer window, even though the pandemic is still going on. I've given you the 3 areas where Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. And it's very imperative that Woodward backs Solskjaer in the summer transfer window, because I don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough so far at Manchester United. And obviously Woodward has come out a few times to promise that he will back Solskjaer. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And even when we was enjoying them bad periods under Solskjaer, Woodward come out a few times to assure that his job was safe. Because like I've mentioned before, the board have a soft stance on Solskjaer, with him being a club legend. But yeah, it was a disappointing January transfer window for Man United. You know, we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. He's made 2 appearances now, by the way, for the under-23s, and he's done well. So I can't wait to see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team squad. We got him in a deal worth £37 million, with add-ons included. We obviously paid £19 million up front. And Solskjaer said that Joe Hugel's in line for his debut soon. But yeah, Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that, you know, he wasn't expecting any signings, and he said the exact same thing on deadline day. Obviously, during the January transfer window, we was focusing a lot more on the outgoings rather than the incomings. Solskjaer has enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, so the summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. But yeah, we saw a few players leave, didn't we? In January, like I said, we'll let Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We made the right decision doing that because obviously Lingard's going to get his chances at West Ham. He wasn't getting them at Man United. We obviously let Marcus Rojo go to Boca Juniors. We let Timothy Foster-Mensah go. He went to Bayer Leverkusen. We also loaned Tiedemann Mengi out. Obviously, Odi Nagalo said his farewells to the football club. But yes, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood in the transfer windows he has enjoyed so far. We've obviously seen players like Young leave the club. We've seen Valencia leave the club. We've seen Darmian leave the club. We've seen Smalling leave the club. We've seen Angel Gomez leave the club. We've seen Herrera leave the club. We've seen Lukaku leave the club. We've seen Sanchez leave the club. We loaned Diego Dalot out. We loaned Andres Pereira. I think we're looking to get rid of them permanently. Tahiv Chon, he also got loaned out. We loaned James Garner out. Loaned Dylan Levitt out. I think we loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. So, there you go. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, like I've updated you. Man United face transfer competition for Sancho from Chelsea. Chelsea have entered the summer race for him. Bild have said that Dortmund have reduced their asking price to £88 million for Sancho. So they've lowered their asking price by 20 million because obviously last summer Dortmund wanted £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. And obviously Dortmund's valuation was the stumbling block because we wasn't willing to pay it, was we? Dortmund are expecting Sancho to leave in the summer, but I don't know where he's going to go because it recently said we ended our interest because of the form of Amad Diallo Traore. But quite a few times Fabrizio Romano has spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, and he's a very reliable Italian journalist. Bill's Christian Farks also spoken about it. But he did say a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed and even a contract had been agreed. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Earlier on this season, Jadon Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund, but he said he was happy to be back among the goals. This is his 4th season at Dortmund. He's got a contract with Dortmund till 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. Now, I recently give you the news on David Alaba from Bayern Munich. Now, David Alaba favours a move to the Premier League over Real Madrid. It did say, though, that Real Madrid were in pole position to get David Alaba on the free, because it said that David Alaba had agreed a 4-year contract with Real Madrid. Bayern Munich's CEO, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, said he is 99.9% certain that David Alaba will leave Bayern Munich this summer. He's obviously going to be available on a free because he's rejected a new deal from Bayern Munich. So we've been given a transfer boost, and so too have Chelsea. I think Liverpool and City have also been in for David Alaba. David Alaba has been at Bayern Munich for 11 years. He's made over 350 appearances and he's won 20 major honours with Bayern Munich. And he's 28, so he's highly experienced. Before he was at Bayern Munich, he was at Austria Vienna. And don't forget, at one point, he had a loan spell with Hoffenheim. David Alaba's versatile. He's predominantly a centre-back and a left-back, but before, he's been deployed as a central midfielder. He's played as a left winger and a right winger. And it actually recently said that we've identified our 2 top targets for the summer. And that is Erling Haaland from Dortmund and Jules Koundé from Sevilla. We obviously know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign Erling Haaland because Solskjaer knows the player well, because Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. And don't forget, back in 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to meet up with Haaland in Norway to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Now, Erling Haaland's father was talking about his links to Man United not so long ago. Apparently City are going to make him their top target. But since Haaland's arrival at Dortmund, he's been a revelation. You know, Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. Haaland's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. I don't think he'll leave this year. I'm expecting him to leave next year when his £68 million release clause becomes active. But like I say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made fantastic progress at Manchester United. Obviously, I am Ole in. Even when we had them 2 disappointing results against Sheffield United and Arsenal, I was still Ole in, because a couple of disappointing results isn't going to change my perception on him. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row until Sheffield United had beaten us. We've also been very, very good away from home. Reflecting on that 0-0 draw with Arsenal not so long ago, we did set a new club record. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. What we have been doing away from home, though, we haven't been quite replicating that at home. Now, obviously, it was a superb performance against Southampton. We have won a few games at Old Trafford this season, but I think we've lost now, is it 4 or 5 games at Old Trafford this season? And we know that's not good enough. I think performances are improving. I think certain players are improving, like I've already mentioned. We do deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because like I've said, he could have easily have been sacked as Manchester United manager, because we have endured very, very bad periods under him. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, he hasn't won a trophy yet, and he's been at the club over 2 years. And we haven't won a trophy for like 4 years, but there's 3 trophies that we can pursue this season. You know, we can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can win the Europa League. And obviously, a club of our stature needs to be winning trophies. Yeah, like I said, I think we're in the title race. Like I said, not so long ago, a lot of United fans were disregarding it. You know, we need to win the Premier League because we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. But like I said, Solskjaer hasn't been mentioning the title race. He's just taking one game at a time. Solskjaer's going to be given at least another season at the club, and that will be his 3rd full season. This is his 2nd full season at the moment. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, you know, he's gained some managerial experience. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. You know, he's learnt quite a bit on the job. Like I've already gone through with you, there's still things he's got to do at the club. I think Solskjaer's got to identify his best 11. I think he's got to give Donny van de Beek more opportunities. And I think he's got to get his selections right persistently. But Solskjaer deserves credit. You know, he's got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost that to Man City 2-0. He's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. You know, did well last season in his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us 3rd and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He has spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, and Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore, because the deal for Amad Diallo Traore was agreed last October. But yeah, you know, Solskjaer has changed things at the club. You know, he's still inheriting players from other managerial eras. Actually, there's still quite a few players here from the Jose Mourinho era. There's not many players here now from the Louis van Gaal era. Obviously, Matt is still here from the David Moyes era. And there's only 2 players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and that's Phil Jones and David De Gea. We've come from behind in a lot of games this season as well. And we have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era, because we used to come from behind a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Trying to smart that. But yeah, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson, and you know, we're not even known as a sacking football club. You know, we sacked Moyes after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season at the club. Now, you know the news on Paul Pogba. I give you the news on him earlier on today. Manchester United have held talks with Paul Pogba regarding his future, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insists he's happy at Man United, and Solskjaer has suggested that Pogba could sign a new contract at the club. Yeah. Paul Pogba has been in very, very good form recently. He got voted Player of the Month, reflecting on that fantastic goal he scored in our 2-1 win against Fulham. Earlier on this season, Paul Pogba had an ankle injury. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Now, a few times we've played him in more of an advanced role. You know, do you think he looks more effective there? There's still a chance Paul Pogba will stay potentially past the summer, but there's also still a chance he will leave in the summer. Now, Matthias Pogba, who is Paul Pogba's brother, he recently, you know, spoke about his brother's future and that, and he basically said that we've got to sell Paul Pogba during the summer if we are to get the money. Or he said he could leave for nothing in 2022, and he mentioned that Paul Pogba's got no intentions of signing a new contract. So in a way, he's saying the exact same thing as what Fabrizio Romano said, because Fabrizio Romano recently gave us an update on Pogba's future. And he said Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards. And he said Mino Raiola been planning a move for Paul Pogba next summer. You know, Pogba's our most expensive sign at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. You know, like I said too early, do you think our current squad is good enough to win the league? You know, we have got some very, very good players. Like I said, you know, players are improving. You know, Luke Shaw, he's really improving. Wan-Bissaka, he's really improving. Fred, aspects of his game are really improving. Rashford, he's also improved under Ollie, but he's obviously endured his bad period. You know, Cavani's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. Bruno Fernandes, he's our best player and he's the best signing since Ferguson because he's made the difference in the team. You know, Donny van der Beek, he's a good player when he plays. You know, like I said, Solskjaer needs to give him more opportunities. Eric Bay's a very, very good centre-half. I prefer him to Lindelof, but he's too injury-prone. You know, Scott McTominay can be a good player when he wants to be. You know, Mason Greenwood's a good player. Greenwood's still young though. You know, Martial, yes, he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season, but he made up for it in the game against Southampton because he came on and got a brace. So yeah, Solskjaer's really, really got improved players at the club. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do consider... Alright, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.